This episode of the Blindside Podcast contains language that might be offensive to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. This is Blind Metal Gamer along with KAira Super Saiyan, and you're listening to the Blindside Podcast. What is up, everybody? It is Blind Metal Gamer, along with the wonderful and vivacious KAira Super Saiyan, and we have a guest for you this evening, Danger Warrior 13. What is up, ladies?
Hello.
Good to be back, blind. We have picked something special.
Yes, we have. You want to tell them, Danger Warrior?
Retro gaming.
Not
The
just retro gaming,
not
retro gaming in summer.
Yes, the
Fun.
perfect escape from the dog days of summer, which, if you're around where Danger Warrior is or where me and KAira are, you know damn good and well it's going to get hot.
We're
Yes.
talking 90 degrees with over 100 in the heat index.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, yes. So we're talking retro gaming. So, Danger Warrior, do you want to start by talking about your experiences with retro gaming and how you got into retro gaming and how it has
Yeah.
defined you as an individual today?
Well, so for starters, I have actually been totally blind since birth. So my earliest memory would most likely be at one of the places my mom worked when I was growing up, and they had several games in the dining area, and one of them being asteroids, and the sound of that always fascinated the heck out of me because I know that either she or one of her coworkers was always going to be playing it on their breaks, or a customer was playing it, either that or Miss Pac Man. So the soundscapes of both of those always fascinated the heck out of me. So I heard mom finishing up playing it one afternoon, and I told her I wanted to try to play it. So she sat me on the stool and put a quarter in it. It was like, yeah, now you push the little button to fire, and I think we might have ended up playing it together. I don't 100% remember. We probably did because I was only 4 and I didn't really know how to move the joystick properly and everything. But it was a lot of fun. And then kind of fast forward a little bit, and I kind of grew up playing anything from arcade games to attempting to play Atari and Nintendo and anything I could get my hands on that I can make it make noise. I didn't never really know what I was doing with it or anything, but that's kind of what I've always done. And then I remember a friend of mine getting a Sega Genesis for Christmas, I think it might have been, or a birthday, one or the other. And I was attempting to play Sonic the Hedgehog, had no idea what I was doing with it. And I would start getting rings and losing rings. And the next
Oh,
thing
it's
I knew, she
okay.
was like,
I've
you
been
passed the
there
first
too.
world. And I was like, I did. And then next thing I knew, she was like, "You passed the second world," and I just sat there in shock because I had no idea what I was doing and
That's
everything. I just would hear it make noise, and it was jumping around, and still to this day, I don't know what I'm doing when I try to play that. But I managed to at least make it past the first level of that.
that's pretty cool.
Nice. Okay, KAira, do you want to tell everyone your experience with retro gaming and how you got into gaming?
Sure. So I got started playing arcade games at the hotel we would go accompany my grandfather to for his work trips. No, I'm not telling you what the work trips were. I'm not telling you where. You're not getting that out of me. But one of the earliest things I can remember playing was Miss Pac Man. And I remember seeing Pong in the arcade, but I didn't play it. It didn't really interest me. When I was 4, I would steal my sister's Game Boy because she would steal our father's Game Boy and lock myself in the bathroom with it to play Miss Pac Man and Mario Golf. Uh, so for Christmas, when my sister and I were 6, our dad, who was newly divorced, got us a Sony PlayStation, and we would play games on the demo disc. That's how I fell in love with Crash Team Racing, which is probably my favorite retro game of all time. That game is just so much fun. And eventually, I got a copy of it for PlayStation when I was 9. And by then, PlayStation was considered retro because PlayStation 2 was already out. And so eventually I learned how to get at least halfway through the game with cheat codes, except for Polar Pass, because that backfired and I would go from first to last on one
Oh
part of the
no.
track. I'm like,
Oh
no, no, no,
God,
no, no,
no,
don't
no.
do that. And I have played some of the goats, like the original Crash Bandicoot, the original Spyro trilogy. I've played them all, but I'm just terrible at video games, which is something Blind and I've discussed before. I game overed on level 1 of Crash Bandicoot 1 because I stink so bad. I don't care. I play video games for fun, not because I'm good at them. Heck, I stink at them. Um, I've even played Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I ported it on to Xbox 360 because you used to be able to do that. I was terrible at that game too, but I get pretty far into that game. I
That
think
one
I
is
was
hard.
I think I was on the
Oh
power
yeah.
plant level the last time I played it.
Oh, the
But then
chemical
I
plant
Oh, that
one.
was
Yeah,
easy.
that
but
was
then
a.
but
Mm.
then I learned I am terrible at 2D games because just like everyone else who complains about 2D games, there's one problem. The graphics are too slippery and you just get out of control so quickly. But I remember I played the mobile port of Miss Pac-Man on my iPhone. I don't even think that version of that game is out there anymore because that was in back in the early days of iPhone, but when the iPhone 4S was a thing. And I came close to beating Miss Pac-Man on the mobile port. I remember I
Wow.
got to the point where
Nice.
Baby Pac was born. Like, how am I this good at something with a touchscreen when I'm not even that good on it on an arcade cabinet or a Game Boy?
Oh man.
But
Oh,
That's got to be tricky because there's no
I know,
joystick.
right?
and then eventually it got to the point where I had my own Game Boy Advance. I started playing stuff on Xbox. These days I watch games more than I play games, but every now and then I'll dig out the PlayStation 2 and go play Crash Team Racing and rage at it. Like, I'm one of those people, like, the more I cuss at myself and insult myself as I'm trying to get through one of the hardest tracks in the game, the better I am. As long as we're not talking time trials, I can't complete a single time trial.
Oh yeah. Now as far as me and my experience with retro gaming, um, my experience goes back to the Atari. My first video game experience was with the Atari. My family had one, and Pole Position. I'm sure you guys remember that one. Pole Position.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the listeners out there remember it. Pole Position, Asteroids,
Oh,
Joust.
yes. Donkey
Uh,
Kong.
yes,
Donkey Kong. Yeah.
and I remember my family. We had to share the Atari.
Yes.
And then
Just like me and my sister having to share the PlayStation, share the Xbox.
so
Oh, yes.
then when I was about maybe 5ish, my family got me an NES. Me
Oh.
and my older brother got an NES, and
Oh.
of course it got hooked up into my room. I got it in my room.
Yay.
Yay.
And I remember games like Super Mario Brothers,
Yes.
the
Yeah,
Mega
Super
Man,
Mario Brothers. That's a classic.
the Mega Man games 1 through 4 or 1 through 6 on NES.
What about Paper Mario? That's a classic.
Yeah, we never played Paper Mario in my house, but man,
We didn't either.
the
I
wrestling games, WWF, WCW,
You
yeah.
might as well tell them the one that stole your heart, the one that you still play to this day.
Oh yes, Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yep.
He can
Oh
play
Yep.
yes,
that one from memory, even
yes
though
I
his
can.
vision is gone.
Yes
It's
I
it's
can.
remarkable.
We'll get to that in a
Yes.
bit. But yeah, Mortal Kombat. I remember the first Mortal Kombat. So I got kind of a funny story. I would always have my older brother.
Mm-hmm.
I would bring him in. Hey, beat this level for me. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And he felt like such a tool. He was like,
can I tell you what I remember about Mortal
and then,
Kombat?
oh no, I'm talking like Mega Man. So I remember this whole gaming experience was the reason why they got me into gaming was it was a way to do my hand-eye coordination with what vision I had at the time. But there was a catch at the Blind Metal Game House. There was a caveat, and that was this: 20 minutes on, 2 to 3 hours off, and we had to share. We each got 20 minutes apiece. We didn't get there that way because if there was infighting, it was gone.
Fair enough.
No ifs, ands, or
Yeah.
buts. So that's how we did that. So games like the Mario games, Mega Man, Bayou Billy, the
Yeah.
Castlevania games, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, really were introduced to me over time. So Danger Warrior, you got your first Nintendo and all of that. What was the next console you owned after the NES?
The Super Nintendo, and I ended up getting that for Christmas. And so originally, what was supposed to happen, because my our neighbor had one. So what the original plan was going to be was mom was thinking about getting me a Sega Genesis for Christmas that year, and then I play that, and then and or he could come over and play the Sega Genesis, and I could go to his house play the Super Nintendo. But then she kind of
Mm-hmm.
looked at the Sega Genesis and realized that a lot of those games would have been so visual because it was either fighting or going in and out of rooms and things like that. So a lot of them wouldn't have really, I wouldn't have been able to do much with
Right.
and everything. So she ended up getting me a Super Nintendo as well. And then I did kind of find that out the hard way because another friend of mine did have a Sega Genesis, and there were only like little teeny tiny handful of games on that I could play, but I was determined to try anyway
Oh yeah.
and
Well,
everything. So I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 were the only ones I could do much with. Because I remember
mhm,
trying to play Aladdin, for example, and got basically next to nowhere with it. So
mhm.
it got to the point where I wanted her just to, play it for me just to hear the music change because I was tired of hearing the same tune over and over and over.
Yeah.
And then she would let me play the bonus stages when you got to unlock those, which I never figured out how you did that either.
Mhm.
Oh, I hated the bonus stages.
Really?
In Aladdin?
Oh no,
Why?
I'm thinking of something else.
Oh.
'Cause, I mean, I think all you did was spin a wheel, and either you got things like extra apples, or you got nothing.
No,
Mhm.
I was thinking of Sonic the Hedgehog's bonuses. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, those. Oh my
Oh,
God.
Those were
I
intense.
know, right?
I
One
never
thing I
figured out what you
remember.
did with those.
I now.
Uh you were just going through a level, hitting everything in sight. Oh, they were so weird.
Yeah, they were a bit. Yeah, they were nuts. Now the thing I remember about the Genesis from a more visual aesthetic, and Kyra, you probably remember this too.
Mhm.
And this was on the Super NES too, so kind of
Mhm.
covering both. The notorious strobing lights of doom.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes, if you looked in your video game instruction booklet in back in this time, if you saw an epilepsy warning, watch out.
Thankfully,
oh
photosensitive
wow.
epilepsy was never my diagnosis. With but I'm still very careful. There is a episode of Pokemon that has been banned. I will not touch because I just don't want to take the risk.
Oh, that was referenced on one of the courses, I think, on however you pronounce it, DQ University.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but no, I want to touch on Mortal Kombat for a second. Blind, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, I
Uh,
have. Yes, Matt. I have to cut you off, but may I say something
yes.
related to Mortal Kombat? I have owned and played every Mortal Kombat game.
Which does
Really?
not surprise me.
And when the new one comes out, if that's what they got cooking up next, you know who's going to get it.
Of
Of
course.
course.
But anyway, no, this is actually important, especially for those of y'all who don't know video game lore. So, Mortal Kombat was huge, and the video game wars were going on, the console wars.
Yes, they were.
and it was Sega Genesis versus Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh.
Sega Genesis had the upper hand with Mortal Kombat because they were extremely graphic when it came to Mortal Kombat.
Yes, I
To
still
the
remember.
point
Oh.
to the point that ESRB was established that very same year because of
Yes,
the shock value of the gore.
yes.
Hmm.
For those who don't know, the U.S. Senate actually tried to get it where the video game industry was going to have to be censored.
And
And
thankfully they
Oof.
didn't. They invented
right,
ESRB instead.
yes, and I still remember the blood code ABACABB.
What? Oh my goodness.
And I still
but
remember the dollar code down, up, left, left, there, right now.
but
Oh.
see but see the movement was just so profound, so had such a massive ripple effect. Every The rest of the world had to follow suit and adopt their own version of ESRB.
Yes,
Like
Oh
for
yeah.
example, Europe's is called PEGI,
yeah,
P
Peggy,
E
yeah,
G Pegi,
yeah, Peggy,
and
Peggy.
there are games that have to seriously cut back on their content because they need to meet a certain standard for ESRB. Like we've oh crap, blind, you know the game I'm talking about. What's the game I'm thinking? Manhunt 2. That's it.
Manhunt too, yeah, but yeah, that, and I want to give a bit of a, since we're talking retro tonight. Um, okay, did any of you play the game Castlevania Bloodline?
No.
I did not. I watched my dad play Wolfenstein 3D though.
Okay, Castlevania Bloodlines. If you look up the American version, you see blood on the title screen, dripping, right?
Right.
But
Oof.
in the
Wow.
European version, it's Castlevania: The New Generations, and it's this title screen isn't blood; it's blue water.
Oh boy.
Say what?
Yes, yes, they had to actually give the game a different name and a different intro screen for Europe, as opposed to Japan and the U.S.
Yeah, that happens sometimes because different versions of uh, ESRB equal different standards for
Mm-hmm.
video games across different ports.
That sounds like
Mm-hmm.
the whole Data East versus Capcom business with Karnov's Revenge versus Street Fighter, and then Capcom tried to sue Data East over it because
Mm-hmm.
just over something silly like button combinations, and
Yes.
it's
So,
like that's a silly thing to sue somebody
I
over.
know it's petty. So, okay, we're talking about retro gaming and escaping the summer heat. So, Kyra or Danger Warrior, do you have any stories about how y'all would use retro gaming to escape the dog days of summer, and any like retro snacks that you loved from back in the day that you wish they would bring back?
Oh
Well,
man.
okay. When I was a kid, The Sims, the original two Sims, Sims 1 and Sims 2 were all the rage. And I got hooked, and I got hooked hard. So my mother would leave for work and leave me and my sister alone to do our own things. And my mother would tell me one thing: do not spend 8 hours on that computer. If you're still on that computer when I get back, you're going to be grounded.
Ooh.
Well, I
Mm.
got grounded at least once. She would tell me, you can watch TV, you can go outside, but you're not spending time on that computer because you just spend all your time on it. But I remember I would do stuff like eat, like get stuff from the ice cream truck, or make popcorn, um,
Nice.
Yes.
or have a cold can of usually my mother's Diet Coke because that's what she bought in the summer, because that's why I would snack on during the summer. Like if you look at a SpongeBob popsicle from the ice cream truck now versus today, they're so pitiful. They used to be cursed with the eyes and the teeth all messed up. They're just a
Oh wow.
they're just a sad smiling SpongeBob,
Oh,
and he doesn't even have
anything
his.
you get this day and age is so different now. I mean,
I
Oh,
like
I know.
the
know, it's
Sunbelt
so
granola bars we used
sad.
to buy were used to be really big and wide and full of like chocolate chips and things like that. And now they're the itty bitty skinny things.
Yeah.
that are
But
only about an
see,
inch wide.
I'm also one to talk because a lot of the foods that were not safe for me to eat due to my peanut allergy are safe for me to eat or have their own version that are safe for me to eat. So it's kind of like being a kid again because I get to explore new foods that previously weren't accessible to me.
Right.
Oh no. So okay, for me, I remember, I'd be chilling out playing Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis or watching WWF or WCW, and I'd be snacking on, fruit roll ups, fruit by the foot, peanut butter M and M's. Um, I would just destroy chips and salsa.
I would destroy
Oh,
potato chips or half gallons of ice cream.
Yes,
shoot.
I don't
Yeah.
know if y'all remember this J. Higgs brand potato chips.
No, I've never heard of
I do
those.
not. I
You could
we were a
and Bubba Cola.
Lay's. We I do remember that one, but we were a Lay's potato chip family.
Yes. Yes, same.
So, I remember we would get sour cream and onion potato chips, right?
Right?
E-
Mmm.
Every summer after breakfast, I'd go for them suckers and I would
Yep.
eat them up. And they'd be like, "Oh,
Yep.
it's too early for the potato chips." I said, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking, whatever. I'm gonna munch on these bad boys.
Yep.
Yeah, my mom would get on to me for eating all the ice cream bars in one day or eating
Hmm.
half
Oh,
of the
yep.
bananas from the grocery store.
Oh
She's
man.
like, why? Why do you do this to me? You're not even a teenager. You're eating me out of house and home.
Shoot.
I
Because
remember.
we can.
Yeah, we could. We did it because we could, right? Danger Warrior.
Yeah, seriously.
So, okay. Do either of you remember the Sega Channel?
The what?
The
You
Sega
cut it.
Channel.
Hey, it didn't get my turn to go yet.
All right. All right. Go.
So, so okay, so I remember one summer, our thing, and it was this was a thing to kind of, which I mean, I guess it wasn't necessarily a thing. We just kind of did it, because all these kids lived in the neighborhood, so we all kind of
Mm-hmm.
would gather together at somebody's house and everything because we all kind of lived within walking distance to each other and everything. So I I had two different Nintendo games or Super Nintendo games, Super Mario World and Super Mario All Stars.
Mm-hmm.
And so Super Mario All Stars basically was, all the different Mario games all built into one cartridge
Mm-hmm.
and everything. So we all got together in one day, and we all slept over at one of the neighbors' houses and everything. So then I ended up with the Mario All Stars game over there. So the next day, after we all ate pancakes for breakfast and everything, we had a blast playing that and
Mm-hmm.
really got into Mario 3 because with that you could save the game's progress and just keep going and going and going. So we had an
Mm-hmm.
absolute blast with that and everything, except for the fact that um, the that one of the neighbors' kids, just had all of these rules and what have you that you
Mm-hmm.
weren't you we couldn't warp and everything because that was cheating. When you got stuff from the mushroom houses and whatnot, then she was like really particular about what you could use where. So two of them got stuck on this like really hard level, and I can't remember what world it was in or anything, but both were getting frustrated. And so the younger guy was like, well, why don't you use the cloud? And finally she got frustrated and was like, you don't use the cloud on easy worlds like these. But the two of them were just sitting there getting frustrated trying to beat this world over and over and over and everything. And I remember at one point in time when she wasn't there and he came over to my house and everything, we finally just decided to warp. And so then she came back maybe about a week or so later and we were all playing together again, and she wanted to know how we got this far. And he basically throws me under the bus and said that we warped. And she got all bent out of shape about it, and so he was like, well, it was Jessica's idea to warp. And I'm just thinking, and I just kind of sat there annoyed that he just threw me under the bus like that and everything. But what could you do? I mean, we were
Mm-hmm.
kids. He wanted to protect his own skin, so.
Now, okay, I have okay. So, all right. So, do y'all remember the Sega Channel, or would you want me to explain what that was?
Let's explain it because
Yeah, I've never heard
I'm
of it.
personally not familiar with it.
Okay, so the Sega Channel, for those who do not are not familiar, was a thing you would stick in at the top of your Sega Genesis like a cartridge. But the catch 22 was you would get to use it by calling your local cable company. Your family would pay $15 a month, and you would get to download and play a game straight from your cable company to the Sega Genesis. You would get
What?
Oh
yes,
wow!
yes, and you would
Now my
get.
parents wouldn't have paid for that,
No.
unfortunately.
Now there was a caveat. I saw it at a friend's house. Right, I was like, "Oh, I love this. I want some of that." Right,
Hmm.
Your boy Blind wants some of that. So I, of course, Colin, can we get this? Can we get this? I was a kid, and my family's thought was it'll save us money, but let's throw a carrot in front of them.
Oh.
Caveat
Oh,
was I had to go out and play. I had to go out, do other things. Okay, good enough. So we
Mhm.
got the thing, and oh, we fell in love with it because we had all these games at our disposal, games that were usually exclusive to Japan, like Mega Man: The Wily Wars.
oh,
Oh.
that's super cool.
Yes, Mega Man 1, 2, and 3 remade on the Genesis.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And then they had RPGs. They didn't have like the wrestling games. Or no, wait, I take that back. There was Saturday Night Slam Masters.
Huh.
Yes. There was that. But when it came to like sound, right?
Yeah.
I love the Super Nintendo. And here's why.
Yes.
There was more speech. So for us folks that were blind and visually impaired, the spit like for Mortal Kombat, I would always beg for the Super NES version. It didn't
Yes.
have the blood, but it had the speech.
Yes, definitely. And
And then MK2, of course, Nintendo learned from getting unroyally spanked by Sega Genesis, which is what happened. Don't lie. And they proved Genesis does what Nintendo don't, and Nintendo learned their lesson. And Mortal Kombat 2 on and moving it forward was uncensored, and it had the speech. So and then I don't know if either of you played this, but the Mega Man X series.
no, I've
I
never played any of
did
those.
not. I have friends who have played it.
I played them suckers religiously, and oh, just gold right there.
Now, I remember playing Yoshi's Island on my Game Boy. I tried so hard and I was good at it until I got to the first boss, Mr. Blimp.
Oh.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's it. No more Yoshi's Island. It was a fun game, but I sucked at the boss battles. I
I think
tried.
I might have had that. Is that the one where Yoshi has a baby that he keeps losing and you have to keep
N-
trying to find it?
Not just a baby, it's baby Mario.
Oh.
Oh,
Yep, I think I did have that, and he keeps getting lost and everything, and I never could figure out how in the world to find him again, and that was, like, the hardest thing in the world for me.
Yeah. Oh, and the
hmm
crying the baby would make when he
Yes.
would. Oh, that was torture.
Oh, it
Torture.
was for me too, I always hated it.
It was so annoying. And
Oh.
and see, it was a fun premise because it's the origin story to Mario and Luigi.
Oh.
It's
I
a
did not know that.
prequel.
Oh,
It's a
nice.
prequel. It because it is Mario and Luigi as babies
Oh, nice.
getting
Oh.
getting getting ambushed by Kamek and landing on Yoshi's Island. Luigi didn't. Mario landed with the She's and wound up in their care, but Kamek whisked away Luigi. And so your job is to reunite baby Mario with baby Luigi. But it's so hard because you have enemies that are after that baby at all times. And if he cries, ugh, it's just like
Yeah, over and over and
and
over,
Oh
it's
yeah, I know what
and
you
and you
it
can't
annoying.
make it
it is
stop.
so annoying. And then on top of that, they expanded on this concept with a version for the DS, and it's not just one baby. It's like all of your favorite Mario characters as
Oh
babies.
Lord, no. Oh
Oh
And
God.
some
goodness.
of them had the most annoying cries, but it had a banger of a soundtrack. It had some of the best music in the series. Oh, it was it was it was a great game, but it had its
Yeah.
flaws. And
Oh yeah.
I wanted to throw my Game Boy across the room because I could not get through that first boss for the life of me, no matter
Oh
how hard I
man.
tried.
I never even made it that far. I mean, that's just how difficult that game was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
Blind can attest to how difficult video games can be when you don't have sight.
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
oh
I think
yeah.
we both can. And
Yeah.
that was a
I
big
mean.
thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
No,
I mean.
no, it's fine.
Now, before my vision had changed, I would be doing like retro games, and yeah, they were hard, but now it's like, really? I know they want authenticity, but damn. They
Yeah.
talk about that's where rage inducers came from. Pre Dark Souls, everybody. For all you kids
Shoot.
watching today, these what we grew up on was the original anger inducers.
Yeah. I mean, we've already touched upon how I would just scream at the top of my lungs at Crash Team Racing because that was the only way I could get good at it.
My screaming game was when I would play Mega Man X, right? I
Right.
could get right up to Sigma, beat his stupid cat treble. I'd go up against him, he would one shot me, the bastard.
So see, with Crash Team Racing, one of the final boss before you take on Oxide, the main
hmm
boss,
hmm
is Pinstripe Hataru, who is an OG boss from the original Crash Bandicoot. And
hmm
see, his track is incredibly difficult.
hmm
It is very easy to fall off
hmm
the track
Oh.
because it's called Hot Air Skyway. So you're racing what is essentially actually an arena with a hot air balloon in the background. So
Ooh.
you're literally racing up in the air, and one
Oh
wrong
goodness.
move and you're toast.
Did
And
you ever
he
drop any? Did you drop any
one
bad? Hold on, never mind.
just wait, you can talk in a minute. And so anyway, he fires bowler bombs for his weapon. Bowler bombs are the worst because they fire backwards and hit you. And it takes a lot of tricks to avoid those bowler bombs. And to answer your question, yes, I cussed the son of a bitch out
Woo.
multiple times.
I was gonna
I
say,
was
did you drop any f bombs? You dropped the f bomb.
probably, I was muttering
That
and
sounds like
cussing and
Mario Kart.
screaming and raging and ready to throw the controller at the TV at this because I don't have wireless controllers for my PlayStation, and
Right.
I'm like, and finally I was screaming and yelling at at the game to the point where I was able to somehow outrace this literal weasel of a driver because all the characters in Crash Team Racing are animals of some
hmm
kind. And
hmm
finally, and just finally somehow flip the tables on him and outrace him to the point where he can't catch up with me.
Oh, I've got a. Oh, for me and Danger Warrior, you'll probably remember this. Mega Man 2.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Quick Man stage. If you're in the know, you know, but you don't, I'm going to explain. So, okay, there's a part where you have to literally have reflexes that are just someone that's all hopped up on sugar and caffeine or something because then one hit from them legs and it's like, oh, fuck. And you're
Ah.
Yeah.
dead. It's like, ah. Then you say things that I don't think I want to repeat, but you know.
I mean, it's just like,
And
one
then
of
you
the
hear
greatest.
this, what did you just say? You
Yeah.
Oh.
come to play and find out.
Well, it's just like another Rager game I played all summer was the SpongeBob movie game, which was huge because it came out before the movie did, and it was promotional material. And that game had some very, very intense levels. And I'd be cussing at a SpongeBob game because you want me to drive through every ring and start over from scratch?
Oh,
If I miss
yikes.
one ring,
Oh God.
oh, no, 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 no. You want me to do it under a certain time limit? No,
Mm-mm.
no, that's
Mm-mm.
hard. What do you mean I don't have enough
No.
token? What do you mean I don't have enough tokens to progress into the next level? What do you mean I don't have enough tokens to progress in? I mean to get this power up I need to continue.
Oh, that's the
Why?
worst.
Why?
Oh
Why
God.
game? Why?
Oh God.
And
Danger.
I would have meltdowns over this game. And my
Oh, I
mom's
can
finally
see that.
like,
Oh yeah.
you,
Oh yeah.
my mom's finally like, you need to take a break from that game because you are getting
Mm-hmm.
incredibly worked up.
Mm-hmm.
So, Danger, were there any games that you played that caused you to just rage out like that?
Um, Not necessarily rage out like that, but I mean, I have had a couple of times where I would try to play like I don't well, yeah, you call these retro games like Galaga, I think was the name of one of
Oh
them, or
yeah.
Yeah.
Galaxia, I think was the name of was one of them because I got this
Galaxian, yeah.
Galaxy.
yeah, because I got this one cartridge for the Nintendo 64 that had a lot of those classic games on it, so it was like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man,
Mhm.
Galaga, Galaxian, Pole Position, and Dig Dug,
Oh, Dig
and
Dug.
Oh
which
yeah.
I never could figure out how to play that one. But I would get so my two favorites on that one, besides Ms. Pac-Man, were Galaga and Galaxians,
Mhm.
and so it would get to a point where they'd fire bombs at you faster and faster and faster, so you'd have to fire faster and harder, and then they one would still hit you, and so and that was what in the end would frustrate me because I mean I was so close to leveling up and then the next thing I knew either one of two things would happen. One of the bombs would hit me or the crane and Galaga would pick you up and carry you off.
Oh god.
Another one that really made me frustrated to all avail was Sonic Heroes, which is a Xbox, GameCube, PS2 era game, but it's
Mhm.
considered a retro game now. And so, what was interesting about Sonic Heroes was you were rotating between three characters at any given time. You could pick which of the three you wanted to play with, unless well, basically yes. And so I would usually and it got to the point where I got to the casino level with Team Rose, which was Amy Rose, Mr. Big, and Cream the Bunny, I believe.
Mhm.
And I gotta tell you, that casino world, oh, I hated it. I could not progress past that level. And this was the easy mode of the game, mind you.
Really?
For the
Oh
life of me,
god.
I got so far into that game, hit the casino world. Nope, I can't do it.
Oh
And
boy.
on the regular mode with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, I was no better. I got to the power plant level. Couldn't progress past the power plant level.
Oh
What is it
man.
about the stupid power plant levels in Sonic? That's so hard.
Are you talking about Chemical Plant Zone?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was probably the chemical plant zone.
Chemical
That one
plant.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
that is hard.
made me rage. Oh my
Because
god.
I would get that far in Sonic 2 and get to whatever that what when you smash through that first wall and you hear this loud bubbling sound and I never could figure
Yeah.
out what that was, but it always would take my lives like one by one real fast. So I don't know what I got sucked into, but I mean that I never made it past that.
And see, Sonic Heroes also has those weird Sonic bonus levels I was alluding to earlier.
Mhm.
So those were like colorful with all weird different sounds, and there was you just kept going and going and going until you timed
Oh,
out, trying to hit everything inside. You talk about a psychedelic mushroom trip. I'm not that
oh
mom. I swear
yikes.
I haven't done that. I'm kidding, kidding.
No,
See, this
I
is
believe
this is what
you.
I mean when I say my mother watches all of our episodes. Love you, mom.
Mhm.
But no, I mean you it gives you the feeling like
You feel like you've done some shrooms. Yeah, I get you.
yeah, that's all I meant. Um, that's all. It reminds me of like the scene from Family Guy where Brian takes the mushrooms. I mean, it's that
Hmm.
trippy.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier with the flashy lights.
Yeah.
That's something that Danger Worry. I don't know if you ever had to worry about that, but me and KAira and a bunch of us had to be very concerned with that.
Well, I
And
mean, not so much with flashing lights for me, but I do take the precaution with some things with flashing lights.
I take it with all. So okay,
Yeah, what I go through is more auditory, I think, than anything to do with lighting. And
Mine used to be related to sleep deprivation, but because of the pills, not anymore, not ever.
all right. So okay, we've talked about retro games, our favorite, or how we got into retro gaming, retro raging, inducing summer snacks. So okay, with us going into summer 2026. What would you recommend if there's anybody that wants to play these retro games on modern hardware today that can't afford vintage hardware, that want to get it, cheap? What would you recommend people get to experience these retro games for modern hardware and with streaming capabilities if they do want to do the content creation thing as well?
Well, there are ports of just about anything out there, so you can always go the port route. Also, a lot of modern consoles can play these old games now. Like the Xbox Series X is known for playing just about any Xbox game from Xbox Series X to all the way to the original. So there's that option. Also, believe it or not,
Right.
finding vintage hardware to play old games
Mm-hmm.
not as hard as you would think. You just got to know the right place to look. It's a matter of building the collection. That's the expensive part. So, I would
Right.
say just weigh your options financially and see what works best for you. Like what worked best for me, going on eBay, collecting these old games. But for someone else, finding the ports on a console they already have might be the better option.
Right. What about you, Danger Warrior?
that's a tricky one. I mean, I probably would just have to go with what Kelsey was saying because I mean there are tons of options out there. So I mean, you just kind of have to do your homework. I mean,
Right.
there's anything from various um actual hardware that you can actually play these consoles on. I think I can't remember what the name of it was. I want to say it was called Retroport, but I might be wrong. There are different types of consoles that I think Retron might have been the name of it. I'm not 100% sure, and I might be totally butchering these titles, but basically they were different consoles that were built to hook up to the TV, and you could play anything from Nintendo and Super Nintendo cartridges and what have yous. And I don't know exactly what company made them or how you know I don't know that I should say trustworthy, but I mean if that's the route you're wanting to go, then I mean you can get those. I've heard some people complain that the volume levels on them aren't the greatest, but I mean if you're someone who's a collector and still has cartridges, then I mean that's an option.
I
Or I mean, but there again, on you can get those same ports on more modern day cartridges like Nintendo. I mean, consoles like such as Nintendo Switch
Mm-hmm.
and things of that nature. So you just kind of have to look around and see what's out there.
I will also note there are specialty retailers such as Game Exchange that do sell the old consoles, and honestly, they're not going to scam you because they test the consoles and make sure they work. And I have found their prices are reasonable.
Oh
Oh,
yes, and there's a place in mine and Kyra's hometown, Danger Warrior. It's called Retro Social.
Oh yeah, that has old arcade games. Oh, and then there's
Oh,
another one not too far from us, blind, called Rec Bar.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it has one of the best pinball collections I've ever seen.
what?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's cool. It's got some old arcade cabinets, but it's really known for the pinball room.
Hey, cool. Have they got one? Have they got a table known as Cyclone?
I think so.
Ooh,
I'd have to ask my friend that lives closer though.
'cause I really want to play that one so bad.
They've got some good ones. It's a great place to get food, great place to play games.
And where is this located?
We'll tell you in DM, right, blind.
Yeah, we'll tell you after we're done.
Hello.
I'm here.
Yeah,
We'll,
sure, you're here.
yeah,
We're only kidding.
yeah,
or are we?
yeah. We'll explain after we're done. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, and then for those who want to stream these retro games, I would recommend there's collections of the Mega Man games, the Mega Man X games, the Sonic games.
There's remasters of Crash,
Mm-hmm.
Spyro, and CTR, and they're available for PS5, Nintendo
Mm-hmm.
Switch, and Xbox. Although CTR is technically offline but still playable, I believe.
Yes. Unfortunately, there was a Sega Genesis collection on the PS4 that you could play on PS5. Unfortunately, I think it's delisted.
It
Too
is, and
bad.
I wanted that one so bad because I wanted to play Altered Beast, and I found out it's no longer available. I was not happy to hear that.
Mm.
There are also
So,
re-releases of some of the old Mario games, but unfortunately, you had to purchase them within a certain time frame to be able to play them.
yeah,
But they are they
Not on
are out.
PlayStation, you can't, can you?
no,
No, I'm
no,
talking
they
about
were.
Nintendo.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I
No,
don't think they let you do that.
this was a Mario anniversary promotion. I have a physical copy of them. I think it's physical. I'd have to check my Switch. My Switch
Oh.
is the disaster.
Mm.
Um long story. But anyway, um but catch was you had to purchase them by a certain time or they'd be gone forever.
Yeah,
It
Which
sounds like
was
Disney.
what's Nintendo?
no,
What'd you expect?
yeah. Then Nintendo were pulling a fast when they were trying to get you to purchase them and using FOMO to get you to get it.
And they weren't even remasters. They were just re-releases.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nintendo doesn't really remaster their old games, unfortunately. They
Okay.
Hmm.
prefer to re-release so that they can cash in.
Yeah. So really quick before we wrap up, do you have any thing you'd like to say as far as like beating the summer heat and enjoying retro gaming your way before we go? Danjor, you can go first.
Oh man. I can't really think of anything. I mean, other than I just have a good chosen few that I enjoy from time to time, and after have had a good swim in the summertime and all that fun stuff because it does get hot here. So and
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy finding somebody to play them with on occasion.
So my advice is keep your electrolytes up because electrolytes do far more for you than water alone can. Um, and also, please wear sunscreen. Skin cancer is real, and you don't want to get sunburn or worse, sun poisoning. Neither of
Oh,
which are
yikes!
fun. I've had
Yeah,
both. Trust me, you don't want to be me having to get skin checks every year.
yeah. 'Cause I know
Ooh,
somebody that got
boy.
that when I went to we went to summer camp one time and got it when we went to a water park.
Yeah. I got it on a beach trip. I got sun poisoning on a beach trip. Never again.
Mm.
Mm.
So anyway, so to just enjoy some cool dairy treats, wear sunscreen, drink your electrolytes, and if you have air conditioning, do not take it for granted because you could be me who's had it break 2 different summers.
Oh,
Ooh. All right.
yeah.
So my advice would be enjoy the retro gaming your way. Whatever you choose, vintage hardware, collections, emulation, enjoy it your way, the way you see is best for you, that fits your budget. Now, I do want to say something before we go. If you are a person like me that needs some sighted assistance with some of these games, or Danger Warrior as well, the PS5 has a thing called SharePlay, where for 1 hour sessions you can have a sighted friend help you play through these games. And yes, it does work on streaming. So for those of you who are going to stream retro games and are going to need some sighted help, that's there to help you. But remember, it's in 1 hour sessions. So, yeah, plenty of summer treats, whatever they may be for you. Enjoy the summer your way. Stay cool, stay safe, because you know it's going to get hot.
Hot.
Yes. So, KAira, do you got anything you want to say before we sign off? Since this is the season finale.
What I will say is enjoy your summer. Do what you want to do, but make sure to go outside just a little bit. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and no matter what, be cool.
Anything you want to? All right, continue.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm done.
All right. Anything you want to say, Danger Warrior 13?
I think I have to echo Kelsey on that, and just have an enjoyable summer, but don't spend too much time in front of the gaming system, and hey, do your best to stay cool and hydrated and all that fun stuff. And I guess that's about it.
All right. I would say, I would echo those sentiments. Plus, do summer and retro gaming your way. Don't let anyone bully you into doing it their way. Do it your way. Do it the way you see fit. And just have a good summer. Stay safe. Stay cool. And we will be back in the fall with more great content. So, for Danger Warrior 13 and KAira Super Saiyan, I've been Blind Metal Gamer saying so long, stay safe, take care, and peace out.
Stay golden, y'all.
This is Blind Metal Gamer along with KAira Super Saiyan, and we would like to thank you for listening to another episode of the Blindside Podcast. You can find the Blindside Podcast on all popular podcasting platforms, including Spotify and YouTube. So be sure to comment, like, follow, and subscribe so you will not miss a single episode. Until next time, so long, stay safe, take care, and peace out.